welcome to Crank It Up Podcast, the YouTube home of Riggin Games. I'm Jim Price, designer of Erudia Battle of Birthrights, and today I'm adding more comment to our demo mod. But who? That's the real surprise. Over various videos and conversations online, I've talked about future-proofing and the idea that the game has a main narrative decided well in advance that drives everything. Which classes appear when and why they join this war. Effectively, this means that I know the game's endpoint and all the mechanics leading up to that, which is a bittersweet feeling because all things end eventually, and it means I won't get to everything I want to do, especially if I'm reserving space for community content. And that's okay, but it doesn't mean I'm out of ideas, it just means I'm out of room, and there are some things I love that didn't get to make the cut, or were designed after I made the cut, so that I get the best ideas into the game. Since boosters are primarily community content, that tends to happen to them. For this reason, you'll often hear me talk about concepts like the Apocrypha and the Vault, and today, I'll be talking about a class in the Apocrypha, but first, I want to talk about the test kitchen philosophy and why I'm adding this class to the mod. Pre-pandemic, there was a restaurant that we really enjoyed that has this idea of the test kitchen. It was a separate menu from the main menu where they offered things from time to time that maybe weren't the best fit for the main menu, but people would appreciate the variety, and it's there if you want it, and if enough people loved it, maybe it should be in the main menu, because what really matters is your audience. In light of that, I've been looking for opportunities to see who from the Apocrypha fits the mold. The Apocrypha, for those who don't know, is the collection of classes who are real and designed, but not confirmed to be canon within the narrative. So basically, I can do whatever I want with them, and that means putting them into the mod. For obvious reasons, the art won't make sense, so everything will be grayed out to show that it's real art but repurposed. And for this first installment, I've chosen the Griffin booster. Griffins are fast creatures, but take time to build up energy. This is represented in a lot of ways, primarily in the form of alternate tactics that prepare something now for a benefit later. Giet is an easy example. I think Giet has very high upside, even though it is the slowest. Giet avoids power creep from turn to turn, and because of the Unleash, you are largely getting everything back. Since most units are power 3 anyway, you are delaying your play a turn and making it happen on a burst, where it can combo with the other Griffin cards that favor opportunity. Another example is Blanca. Damage can be a form of tactic suppression. Once you damage a unit, a target gets put on it, because that's the unit you usually want to remove, and your rival shields it. Blanca lets you store the damage with your support tactic, where you can unleash when it matters most. And with the Griffin movement, it's fairly easy to do a one-hit KO with just a turn of setup without indicating who the target will be. Many of their plays tie into their payoff action, Speed. You'll notice this is an air spell, but it's also a cantrip. Now, I have strict rules that pure cantrips should not exist by themselves, and Speed is meant to do so much more. You'll notice Speed grants itself an extra action, which means it isn't coming from a tactic. Neither is the extra play from Giet or the minion play from Flight. Each of those extra plays represents a burst of momentum that Speed fuels, drawing cards and granting extra power. The Griffins essentially convert present tactics for future plays, with Speed making them ever more effective. But there's an interesting catch. If you don't play a unit with Warfare or play an item with support, you are not playing cards and your hand will get full. That's where Repeat gets in. Repeat serves many functions. First, Repeat gives you an alternate deplete tactic, which can be used the same as the basic deplete, but it can also store that card under it if you don't need it now. Repeat can also store cards from your hand for free, only to get them back later. This is a way of keeping your hand size lower, but it has the added benefit of hiding cards you don't want your rival to see or touch. If you're playing against thieves, for example, hide your items. This is really useful against classes that come later, which basically hit your card types in various ways. But it's also a way of dealing with the fact that you won't be playing as many cards. The Griffins offer a lot of versatility and a different playstyle of setting up plays in advance. Because of their movement, they can attack an unexpected battlefield out of nowhere and have two means of facilitating a solo. They can also incentivize you to go big or go home, and I have to admit to having gone home by risking it foolishly. But it was still fun, and at least I drew a bunch of cards. From a treasury perspective, obviously you're going to want the Lamia Lyre. I think the Isados is pretty critical because it's a terminal item play that also plays a unit without a tactic for speed. Any item that adds power is obviously welcome, but here's one thing about speed. It really loves advantages and the 3 capture phases, making the Tears of Undine really powerful, especially because Tears is global. Because of the flexibility they have with Cyclone, there is a lot they can do based on how much energy you put into them. The Cloak of Dullahan is amazing for Rapide. He already has plus health, but it also really helps you protect those cards. I really like the Griffins, but if you're one of my boosters, it's a lot harder to get you into the game, because only a select number of them will appear in the narrative. But plans can always change, so until then, enjoy some free variability. I can't wait for you to try them. And more Apocrypha classes are coming because of the Test Kitchen philosophy. What do you think of the Griffins? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.